everyone. I am Brittany Weimer. I am with Semester at Sea. I am the Interim Regional Director, Team Lead, and so basically I work with all the students from ASU from the moment they have the interest in the program all the way up until they make a deposit. So any questions you have, feel free to reach out to me. I'm going to be here as your main point of contact for all of those just inquiry questions you have about the Voyages in general, about the application process, about being accepted to the program, and things like that. I know you can't really actually copy and paste my email, so I'm going to go ahead and drop it in the chat in case you want to get it from there. Awesome. So kind of just to go ahead and get started, kind of do a quick little program overview about Semester at Sea. So we are a nonprofit program, and we're actually also known as Institute of Shipboard Education, but we're mostly known as Semester at Sea. Our academic partner is Colorado State University, so that's where all of our courses come from, as well as where your transcript is going to come from too. For each voyage, we actually just increased it to 13 to 14 countries, which is super exciting for each voyage, because before it was 10 to 12. So really awesome that we were able to make it 13 to 14 now. And we spend around 3 to 5 days in each of the port. And we have a huge alumni. So if you guys wanted to reach out to any of our alumni and get questions and meet with them, definitely let me know and I can get you in contact with one of them. So on our website, we actually have all of our voyages are available from fall 21 through spring 23, but I'm just going to kind of show you the upcoming one, which is fall 21. And that is going to be embarking out of Amsterdam, and then it will disembark in Japan. So you get the chance to kind of go around Africa, over to India, and then around into Asia, which is really awesome. And then here we'll show you spring 22, which is kind of the exact same thing, but the opposite. So you're actually going to embark out of Japan, and then you'll end up in Europe, disembarking out of Germany. What's cool about the spring one is that you kind of see we actually cross the Atlantic to go over to Brazil. So that adds another continent, which is really cool too. So something to kind of keep in mind. A little bit more about our campus. So as many of you know, our campus is actually on a ship. So it's a little bit different than your average study abroad program. So you're going to be on our ship. We convert a bunch of the rooms into classrooms. So as you can see in that picture, it's not your average, sitting at a chair and a desk. You have to, do some makeshifts to make the classroom work, but students love it. So that picture is actually at the front of the ship, which is really awesome. But we have 2 dining halls, a couple snack bars, we have a library, a spa, pool deck, really everything that you need. So a lot of the amenities that you're used to on your home campus, you actually find it here on our ship as well. Some pictures coming up soon. So a little bit about the SAS community. Our ship holds about 570 students, and they come from across 250 universities. Our faculty and staff member and their families are on the ship, as well as lifelong learners and about 200 international crew. Our lifelong learners are going to be older adults who are still interested in learning more and still part of the academic program and really encompassing learning about what y'all are learning about. So they're just kind of extended learners, as we like to call them. Some more pictures. So the upper left-hand corner, that's going to be deck 9. That's going to be where the pool is. A little bit of some cabin pictures, our store, the library, basketball court that also has a volleyball court associated with it, dining halls, and kind of snack bars. A little bit more about our academics. So for our students, you're going to earn 12 credits each semester. You have the opportunity to take a 5th course if you want. We just need approval from your university study abroad office. So for the courses, you're going to need to take our Global Studies course. This course is actually for everyone. We want all of our lifelong learners, our faculty and staff members to go to it as well. So this is kind of your lecture hall class. But the Global Studies course basically prepares you for all of the ports you're going to. So it gives you information about those ports, and then afterwards, you get to get off the ship, go to that port, and then when you come back, you get to reflect on what you learned in that port. So it kind of really gives you that real 360 picture of each port. And then as for the 3 additional courses, those are going to be your elective courses that you get to choose from. We have about 70 to 75 courses each semester, and they are across 20 to 25 different disciplines. So a lot of different options there. As you see, the classes meet on an A and B day, which is going to be a little bit different than what you're used to here in the United States. Instead of classes meeting Monday through Friday, all of the classes actually meet when you're at sea. So when you're sailing to each of the ports is going to be when you're going to classes. And when you get to a port, those are actually kind of your, like we call weekends. So you get to get off the ship and explore during that time. And something about the field classes. So field classes are basically 20% of your final grade, and it's really taking everything that you've learned in your class and doing it in port. So for example, when I was able to do a leg of the voyage in Costa Rica to San Diego, I was in Costa Rica, I got to do a field class, and it was part of an environmental course. And we actually went into the mountains and learned more about the rainforest, and we actually got to plant a tree in the rainforest. So it's really taking everything you've learned in that class and really putting that hands on. So it's going to be 8 hours of one of your days in port, and you get to take the whole class. It's going to go and do things that kind of bring everything to life. Usually field classes are either on the second day in port or the second to last day in port. And you'll be able to see when your field class is when you register for courses. So you get a better idea of which port it's in and when it's going to be. So something to kind of keep in mind. And field classes can't overlap. So that's another thing about choosing courses. We always recommend that you get double the amount of courses pre-approved so that in case your field classes overlap or if a class gets full, you'll be able to choose another class when you register. A little bit about in-port experiences. So there's a couple options that students have. Students are able to sign up for one of our field programs. Now, these are not included in the program cost. So these are going to be additional fees that you can sign up for and pay for. Usually students do a mixture of our field programs as well as independent travel. They like to kind of be able to see both ends. Our field programs really range from half-a-day experiences, full day, to overnight. We're not the cheapest way to do it. Well, we're completely honest about that, but we're also the most convenient way. So if you go to India or China, we have these opportunities in field programs where we will take you to the Taj Mahal, we'll take you to the Great Wall of China, and those are overnight excursions. So you don't have to think about all the planning process. We will have like hotels, restaurant books, travel, cars, everything like that. So it's all done for you. Just kind of have to shop. But yeah, those are going to be additional fees, and you'll be able to see those on our website when we get closer to the embarkation. Some examples are going to be homestays in Ghana, the Amazon River cruise in Brazil, Camel Trek in Morocco. These are kind of more of our more popular ones here. So a little bit about the shipboard life. A lot of people, when you ask Semester at Sea alumni, what was your favorite port? They always call it the last port, which is basically the shipboard community. We really create a bonding experience on there. And usually what happens when you're in port, everyone is just so excited that when they're ready to go to the next one, everyone gets back and sees the ship, and it's just like knowing that you're home. So like if you ever gone on a vacation and you've missed your home and then you come home and you see it, it's just like that sense of relief, that sense of excitement about getting back on the ship and seeing everyone and going to class. We have the opportunity for students to create a lot of clubs and organizations. So basically in the beginning of embarkation, students will get together and start mapping out different clubs and organizations they want to start. So we'll have like a chess club, a tennis club, a yoga club, a study club, all these, different ideas that students come up with. that they're allowed to start. And it's really an opportunity for everyone to kind of join different clubs and organizations and get to know each other. Some other things that we have on our ship are going to be our community programming and tradition. I'm not sure if many of you guys have heard of Neptune Day or Sea Olympics and Alumni Ball, but these are all going to be days where you don't have, classes and you get to do all these experiences. So like Neptune Day is going to be when you cross the equator. The crew are super involved in it. So like in the morning, they'll come banging on drums through the hallways, get you up, and then you do all these events to transition yourself into a shellback. So it's like kissing a fish, you jumping in water, things like that. It's a really exciting moment for students. I also like to point out the stargazing night. I think this is really awesome because imagine you being on the ship in the middle of an ocean, and what we do is we turn off all the lights to the ship, and you just get to sit outside and you have nothing but the stars above you. The imagery that you just see, like there's no impeding light from anywhere. And what's really awesome too is that a lot of our faculty members have experience in astrology, and they'll be out there pointing things out for you to see and things like that. So, really great opportunities there. A little bit about our program fees and aid. So as of right now, I have only fall 21 and spring 22. If you wanted to look at fall 22 and spring 23 for those fees, you can definitely go to our website to do that. But it really does come down to the type of cabin that you choose will adjust the price cost for you. What's included, as you can see, is the tuition, meals, those field classes that I talked about, insurance, the housing, and residential student support team on the ship as well. Some funding options. Semester at Sea has scholarships and grants that you can apply to. A couple of our popular ones are going to be the Student Assistant Grant and the Alumni Support Scholarships. But as for the Student Assistant Grant, it's a $4,000 grant. So you actually work on the ship for 2 hours a day while at sea. And we usually award, I want to say around 30 to 35 student assistant grants. So with that application, you're also going to need to submit a resume too. So just keep that in mind. There's a lot of outside funding for students who want to study abroad. So definitely look into that. We match Pell Grants for the semester, and we also have payment plans available. Something I kind of like to talk about is the two girls in this picture. They were from a university in the Midwest, and what they did to fund their semester at sea program was the headbands that they're wearing, they created and sold them. They ended up selling enough to fund both of their semester at sea programs, as well as make a donation to a charity that they believed in. So there's definitely a lot of creative ideas out there that students have. I also have an outside funding guide. So you can always email me and I can send that to you so you guys can start taking a look and looking for ways to fund your program. So one last thing is kind of the admission requirements is you're going to need to go to our website and you can go to the upper right hand corner and hit apply, and you'll be able to complete our online application, and you'll need to submit an unofficial transcript for your application. You'll be able to upload that directly. I don't know, Shira, if you want to talk a little bit about the ASU side of things that students need to complete. I'm not sure how, if you could just pop on or.
Hey, can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Hi, everyone. My name is Shira Burns. I'm the Assistant Director for our partnership and our exchange programs, and I have the pleasure of working with Semester at Sea and all of our applicants for Semester at Sea. So in terms of the ASU application, you can do that at the same time as your Semester at Sea application, or you can start ASU's first, whatever way you want to do it, but you will need to do both. For ASU's application, we're going to have a series of tasks. One of those tasks is a meeting with me, so we'll sit down via Zoom and go through some of the ins and outs. Semester at Sea works for ASU students specifically. So we'll look at how you might be able to use your ASU scholarships and financial aid, ASU scholarships, study abroad office scholarships rather. We'll also talk about how the courses and course equivalency processes work, so how you earn credit for the courses you take on the program, and a number of other things as well. So you'll need to complete that. You'll also need to complete an academic advising form by working with your academic advisor within your college. And then there's a couple other things too. There's some online forms and submissions, passport scans, and signing off on some of our signature documents. So all of those are things that we'll go through in the meeting that we have. And of course, any other questions that you have. And as you move forward and you finish your ASU application, I'll let Brittany know that you're ready to move forward in their system. And assuming you've done everything on semester at Seaside, you can go ahead and move forward with your journey. So that is how to apply in a very brief snapshot.
Yes, absolutely. So yeah, just, reminding that you need to do both sides of the process. So awesome. And then somehow, if you guys want to stay connected, if you have any further questions, to reach out to me, you can definitely scan that QR code and fill out that form, and you'll get an email from me, and we can definitely start communicating even further. Or you can just email me directly. Honestly, it's up to y'all. And that's kind of the end. So please, if you have any questions, let me know. Type them in the chat, or I don't know if you can unmute yourself to ask the question, but yeah. Yes, semester C is open to all majors, which is awesome. But you're definitely going to want to work with ASU, making sure you figure out how the courses you take abroad with us transfer back to your degree plan. Postgraduate lifelong learners capped because they might after the current. No, they're not. So you can definitely be a postgraduate. As a postgraduate, you will still be taking courses. Undergraduate courses. So we don't have postgraduate courses. So that's something to keep in mind. And then lifelong learners, they're more of an auditing of courses. So they still get to go to the courses. It's more of an audit though. But as a postgrad student, you would be actively in the course. Of course, you're welcome, no problem. Give it a couple more minutes if y'all think of anything else. So the spring 22 application is already open on our website. We suggest that you apply about a year in advance, and it usually closes about 3 months prior to embarkation. Shira, correct me if I'm wrong, the ASU application is open right now for spring 22 for ASU students, correct?
It is, yeah. So you can go ahead and get started whenever you're ready. Something that's worth mentioning for anyone who is price conscious, especially if you are seeking one of those less expensive cabin types. And Brittany can speak to this too, probably, but what we've found is that those less expensive cabin types do fill really quickly. So if you're looking on ASU's cost sheet for each semester, what you'll see is we list the highest price, and that's because we're basing it off of that outside double cabin type. Because that's what most students do end up with. So if you are seeking one of those less expensive cabins, earlier is certainly better than later. Otherwise, we'll continue to accept applications until the ship is at capacity, and as long as there is time and space with regards to visa and all of that. So as long as Semester at Sea is able to accept your application, we will too, really.
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, definitely echoing what you said is, the sooner you apply to get those lower, cheaper cabins, the better. So I think share that question. If I have a new American scholarship, will that apply to Semester at Sea?
Yes. So your New American University Scholarship, so that can apply towards Semester at Sea. It can apply towards any semester-length study abroad program, as can, if you receive any federal financial aid, that will follow you on your study abroad program as well, as long as it's during the semester.
Awesome. Jared, are there any general questions that you always get that maybe I can just answer? I don't know.
Sorry, what's
Are there any general questions you always get that maybe I can just answer right now?
Oh, I think the biggest question I tend to get is how the application process works. We talked about that a little bit, but just trying to figure out which entity to apply through first. The other question I sometimes get questions about, Brittany, and I don't know if you want to jump into this now, but and how that process works.
Yeah, absolutely. So we usually start our embarkation prep around 5 to 6 months out of the voyage start date. And that's because a lot of those visas have expiration dates. And so we don't want you to start applying for them if they're going to expire before we get to the country. So a lot of that time, I know it's like an itching wanting to get started on that piece, but we usually just ask for a little, patience. And when we are ready for you guys to start applying for them, we'll send you an email being like, okay, it's time, you can start applying, and you'll actually do all of that through your My Voyage portal. And so what's also great is we work closely with True Visa, and they help also apply for them. So you can do it on your own, but we recommend that you go through them because they'll apply for your visas in the correct order. They know the time frame and all these other things. There is an additional fee for that, and you'll learn more about that as we get closer. And then you'll also have to pay for your student visas, or not student visas, your visitor visas as well. So, yeah. Yeah, absolutely. So our next steps, definitely you can go to semesteratsea.org and you can hit the apply button in the upper right-hand corner and start your application. And once you start your application with us, you can definitely also start your application with ASU and meet with Shira to get that process started. Like she said, you're going to need to complete everything on ASU sites first before we review your application with Semester at Sea. So you can definitely complete our application, upload your unofficial transcript, but I will need to get that endorsement from Shira prior to Semester at Sea reviewing your application.
Yeah, and I just dropped in the chat the link to ASU's program brochure page for Semester at Sea. So on that program brochure page, you'll see a link to apply now, and that's how you can get started on the ASU side.
Awesome. Yeah, absolutely. It's a great question. So if you actually go to the voyage that you're interested in and you go to the program fees tab, we actually have a PDF document that you can download that is kind of those averages program cost. So we'll give you averages on like your visa fees, field programs, any kind of extra money that you would want to save up for that voyage. I can definitely like guide you there through the chat really quickly. Okay. Does anyone else have any questions?